Hey everybody, welcome to the Mark Parham podcast. You can follow me online by just typing in Mark Parham on YouTube. You can type in Mark Parham on Rumble, and I should pop up. And then also, you can follow me on Spotify by typing in Mark Parham podcast, and I should be there also. So anyway, I'm looking at the television, and I'm looking at Nikki Haley and Donald Trump. How the media is sort of creating this back and forth between the two. And Nikki Haley does not stand a chance against Donald Trump. And I know the media wants to make this rivalry, but a lot of the people who support the Republican Party aren't into Nikki Haley. And, she refuses to drop out. She's out there. She's trying to run. She's trying to, make speeches, and she doesn't have a chance of winning. And I think that, some of these Democrats and even some of these, Republicans that have Trump derangement syndrome, as they call it, just want somebody to go out there and, say bad things about Donald Trump because they hope that, Donald Trump will be indicted for something or something, something will happen with the law or something. They keep on putting her out there like she stands a chance. And it's almost like it's really sad to look at. I mean, wouldn't it be so much better if the Republicans came together, Nikki Haley said, you know what, Trump, I don't see a chance of winning. I'm going to throw my full support behind you. But instead, they keep on using her as this Trump, the person to go after Trump as far as, making insults and calling him names and, it's just childish. It's foolish. And, I don't really see the point of her being out there, and I hope she knows that she's not going to win. Donald Trump has a huge following. Donald Trump has a lot of loyal supporters, and Nikki Haley will never be president of the United States. It just is what it is. It's like when I saw Chris Christie. Instead of Chris Christie saying, we need to come together. I'm behind Donald Trump. Let's bring the Republican Party together because we have things we got to accomplish and problems we have to solve in America. They were using Chris Christie the same way to go out there and be the, Trump attack dog and basically, make bad remarks about Trump and say he's a liar and he's corrupt and just all of these things. And look at how that worked for his campaign. And you notice something about Chris Christie. Everybody who didn't like Trump, or the news media stations that didn't like Trump, he was on those stations, and it's almost like it was sad to see. It was sad to see somebody, who would come on Fox News, come on CNN and MSNBC and be all buddy with people that didn't care about him a few years ago. I mean, I remember when Chris Christie was running years ago, and all of those stations that love him now didn't even care for his campaign, didn't even like his ideas, none of that. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, yeah, you're bringing you're a normal person in the Republican Party and all this other mess. And so, it's what's happening with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is he's just gaining in the polls, and the more that they come after him, the more they try to indict him, and more people say, "Oh, Donald Trump is corrupt, and let's charge him for this and that." It's like using the law against Donald Trump is not working. Maybe with other politicians, most politicians would probably, be in a very bad place right now as far as the polls. This has only helped Donald Trump. It's helped him with black people. It's helped him with Hispanics. It's helped him with Asians. It's helped him with white people, young people. People are seeing through this. And we just live in a different time. Now we have social media where we can find out things by ourselves. Before, the mainstream media, they were used to controlling the narrative. Before social media, the mainstream media could go out there and say, oh, well, this candidate did X, Y, and Z. And you'd have to take their word at it. And now, I mean, I go on Twitter, now it's X, and the Trump supporters are everywhere. black, white, race doesn't even matter anymore. And so that's what a lot of these television networks like MSNBC, I call it MSDNC, MSNBC and CNN, they're having a hard time trying to convince people to basically turn their backs on Donald Trump. I mean, I even saw one report where the lady was sitting up and saying, "Oh, well, don't you find this racist? And how could you vote for somebody like this?" And even the black people on the panel were just like, "No, we're still supporting Donald Trump." And I'm at a point right now with seeing the border and seeing the crime in these communities and seeing how bad the economy is. Like, I'm 100% going to vote for Donald Trump this year, in 2024. There's nothing that's going to change my mind right now because, like I said, some of the people that talk bad about Trump now were partying with him in the 90s and 80s, and now all of a sudden, that he is going to be reelected most likely. Now all of a sudden he's the bad guy and he's racist and evil. Why didn't these people say those things in the past? If you look on Google Images and you type in, Donald Trump, and you look at some of his parties he used to have, some of these same Democrats and even these media personalities that say all this bad stuff about Trump, he's racist and he's mean and he's evil, they were at his parties. They were smiling in his face. They were going to his golf clubs and all that stuff back in the days. And so don't switch up on him now. Even if you look at, there was an old video of, what was it, Jesse Jackson. Some of these civil rights leaders loved Donald Trump back in the 80s. And all of a sudden you get him on TV and Donald Trump is like the worst thing to happen to planet Earth. And so people are seeing through that. I mean, we have Google now, we have social media where we can easily pull up videos and old newspaper articles and see who's telling the truth. And so I think if Trump doesn't win this election, then something's really wrong. I mean, before, people, there was some hanky-panky going on behind the scenes before, give or take. But if Donald Trump doesn't beat Joe Biden this time, I'm going to be surprised. Before, it was like a 50-50 thing. Could Donald Trump win? Yes or no? I mean, it was either way, it's 50-50. Now, with all the support Donald Trump has, if we're looking at the television screens and we see, Joe Biden has won a re-election again, then I'm not going to, I really don't trust the mainstream media and what's going on with the election process right now. But people will really be like, something is up. I mean, Donald Trump has all this momentum. You even looking at the crowd. Some of the crowds I see online are huge. And if Donald Trump doesn't win this time, like me personally, and I've seen a lot, I look at a lot of politics, not a lot of things surprise me. If he doesn't win against Joe Biden, somebody that can't make their way off the stage without getting lost and looking foolish, if he can't win this time, then something is definitely going on behind the scenes. I mean, ballots aren't being counted, something, because I don't see a way that Donald Trump could lose this time. I mean, again, even if he did say something that people don't like or say something that's offensive, that maybe offended a certain group, I still don't think that could hurt his chances of being president. I mean, right now at this point, I don't see how he could lose. And I think the Democrats are coming to sort of notice that reality. I think Democrats are saying, well, wait a minute. He has the momentum. We're looking at the crowds. Well, we have to, tie him up with lawsuits and we have to do something to stop this guy because he's just becoming too powerful and too many people are following his message. So that's why you see the Democrats, they keep on, they don't say that they're doing it, but all of a sudden you see women coming in from the 1980s that want to sue Trump for doing this. You see old business, people in business from back in the days saying, oh, well, he committed fraud and he did this and he did that. It's like they're trying to put him in a new court case every month. The Democrats don't want to admit that they're behind that, but just sort of odd that all of a sudden all of these women from 30, 40 years ago are just coming out of the blue and, Trump touched my shoulder and, oh, I did business with Trump and he didn't pay me and do this and do that. It's just interesting how all these folks are coming out of the woodwork all of a sudden. So again, let me know how you feel in the comments section. Like I said, you can follow me on Rumble. by just typing in Mark Parham, and I should pop up on Rumble. You can follow me on YouTube by typing in Mark Parham. And also, please give this podcast a like on YouTube. And then also, you can follow me on Spotify by just typing in Mark Parham Podcast, and I should pop up. Thank you.